Easy C 95.9 FM.
Make this school year their strongest yet. Book your child's back to school or sports physical today at SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln. Keep them healthy, focused, and ready for success. Find out more by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hi, I'm Brett with Central Cremation Center. We're proudly offering pet cremation services to help keep your faithful companion close to you. Learn more about our pet services by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
From the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. The DeWitt County Board has discussed on and off the possibility of incentivizing early retirement to county employees. At the August County Board meeting, the board received figures on what the potential savings could be to the county should they have any employees utilize the early retirement incentives.
Early retirement incentive. This was one that we had tabled last month, or I don't call it tabled, but we didn't have an official one. I know Ms. Rentmeister did pass out some figures today. I know she sent earlier in the month some details on the early retirement incentive. The figures passed out today. I think it's still premature to make a decision on some of this without having had the chance to really digest what's on the list. But my thought would be take the month to review the materials if you haven't already. We've got some figures from, our best guess as to what the savings might be. I don't know, Ms. Rentmeister, if there's anything that you want to elaborate or comment on with this, you handed out here, but we can take it back up at a future meeting. Any questions on it?
If you guys got the list, you saw there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people that did qualify should the early retirement be offered. Of those 10, there's 4 that I did not even try to estimate what type of cost savings there would be because they're either elected officials or they're appointed department heads. So the figures that I did give you just took into consideration the other staff members who are under a wage schedule.
The purpose is to relieve the county of long-term employees who have received raises and bonuses throughout the course of their career that cost the county more money than someone in the same role as an entry-level employee.
So I just took what they would be making December 1st if they did take the early retirement, and we replaced them, what a starting wage would be. You'll see the one on the supervisor assessments is giving you 2. If we replace that staff member with some mapping experience, what that potential cost savings could be, or the second line that's been indented is if we outsource the mapping and didn't try to hire someone with some mapping experience. So that's why those 2 figures are there.
So again, we didn't have a motion, I believe, last month. Did receive some material, and now that with this additional information, I thought we can take the month to crunch some numbers and kind of figure out where we could potentially make some savings. Obviously, we don't know. There's going to be some assumptions that have to go into that, but I think this is at least a good start for coming up with some assumptions and figuring out what we might ultimately be able to save, if anything.
Cost savings when it comes to benefits were also brought up at the meeting. This comes on the heels of discussions on the possibility of removing certain positions or changing a role from full-time to part-time.
Mr. Witt, if I can make a suggestion, I agree. There's still some numbers that you probably need. I know it's discussed in some of the committees of the possibility of either eliminating positions or possibly making a full-time, part-time position. I think it would be beneficial to figure out what the cost savings would be on benefits if those positions were either eliminated or changed to part-time. So you could add that into the base that you've got here. And as I've said before, 2 elected positions, there's really no cost savings. The state's attorney's salary is set by the state, and the county board sets the other elected officials, the countywide officials, for a 4-year term. So even if a elected member left, that 4-year term is set, and then the next person would come in at the same or greater rate. So for the department heads, ultimately, the board would have to determine how those would be filled, and whether a specific salary or a salary range. The board's going to have to touch those numbers.
The board ended up deciding to take a month to review the new figures that were provided by County Clerk Dee Renmeister, and they will pick it back up at September's county board meeting on the 18th. It's no secret that hiring law enforcement officials can be a struggle in some areas. Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang explains that that's not quite the case for his office. He says they have a great team of dedicated deputies, correctional staff, and dispatchers, and have been able to stay fully staffed. He notes that they do have one retirement approaching, and they are accepting applications for a new dispatcher.
We're very, very fortunate. We've got a great team right now. I think I'm probably in the minority in the sense that I am actually right now fully staffed. We just had our newest deputy graduate from the academy yesterday. So that puts us fully staffed, especially once he gets through his training on the street. Our correctional staff, we're fully staffed there. I've got great dispatchers, but unfortunately one has decided she wants to retire. She's going to be retiring the end of October. So if you check our website or our Facebook post, we did recently just start taking applications to replace that dispatcher when she leaves here at the end of October. So we're very, very fortunate, though.
When it comes to the open dispatcher position, Vogelzang says the greatest skill is being able to multitask and stay calm under pressure. This is because dispatchers are often fielding a high volume of calls from people who could be having the worst day of their life.
I think the biggest thing is being able to multitask and remain very calm under pressure. When you're getting a serious accident or a serious incident, we may have 1 or 2 dispatchers in there. So you're fielding a lot of phone calls, trying to dispatch police, fire, and EMS. That's probably the biggest thing. The other thing you have to realize is that we are a 24/7, 365 operation. So you may be working midnight shift with Tuesday, Wednesday off and working holidays. So just be aware that, that is a very likely possibility because we bid on seniority. So being the least senior person, you're probably going to have the shift that's least desirable. But again, it's a very rewarding job to be able to help somebody. You're that first point of contact. Absolutely. With somebody that's having a very, very bad day. When you have somebody that's calling in with a medical emergency or that severe traffic crash, being able to be very calm and interact with that person, trying to get the information and getting help out as fast as possible, it's so important.
Vogelzang states that while there are other departments where you can make more money, their department has a great culture and relationship with the county's residents.
There's other departments where you can make more money. Our department, I think we have a great community that's very, very supportive of our law enforcement, which some places do not have. I'd say that's first and foremost, is that support that our community gives. We try to have good equipment, our squads, our training, our equipment. We really try to keep up on that. And then, just trying to have that support for our staff is so important. Accidents, probably first and foremost. We get a lot of domestic incidents, some thefts, some things like that. But then every now and then, you have those high risk, low frequency type calls where you're having, a burglary in progress or, something more severe that happens. Small communities are not immune to that, unfortunately.
If you're interested in applying for the Piatt County Sheriff's Office open dispatcher position, learn more by visiting piattcounty.org/sheriff. Now for your local obituaries. Bruce A. Mandrell, 63, of Clinton, Illinois, passed away at 8:37 p.m. August 16th at his family residence in Clinton. No services are planned at this time. The family has entrusted Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton with cremation rights. Memorials may be directed to Second Chance Pet Adoption. Online condolences may be made at calvertmemorial.com. On August 7th, 2025, Nancy Irene Douglas Stone passed away peacefully at the age of 82. There is no service planned at this time. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be made to Westward Heights Care Center, 150 Caring Way, Lander, Wyoming, 82520, or to the Waynesville United Methodist Church, 202 South Isham Street, Waynesville, Illinois, 61778. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more, DeWittDailyNews.com.
With SRN Sports, I'm Jason Walker. Micah Parsons headed to the Green Bay Packers in a blockbuster trade, leaving the Dallas Cowboys following a lengthy contract dispute. Packers giving up first-round picks in 2026 and 27, along with three-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Kenny Clark to get Parsons. The Packers agreed on a record-setting $188 million four-year contract that includes $136 million that's guaranteed. Philadelphia Phillies slugger Kyle Schwarber hitting 4 home runs Thursday night against Atlanta, pushing his season total to 49. It's the 21st time a player has hit 4 in one game. And it, by the way, just happens to be the third time that it's happened this season. This is SRN Sports. Well, in that game between the Philadelphia Phillies and Atlanta Braves, the final was the Phils 19, the Braves 4. Elsewhere in the National League, Arizona 6, Milwaukee 4. San Francisco clipped the Cubs 4-3. St. Louis over Pittsburgh 4-1. And Miami beat the Mets by a score 7-4. One game in interleague play, Houston over Colorado 4-3. In the American League, Boston 3, Baltimore 2. And the New York Yankees beat the Chicago White Sox. Final there was 10-4. One game in college football action involving top 25 team. South Florida 34 over number 25 ranked Boise State 7. Women's NBA, Phoenix 83, Chicago 79. New York beat Washington 89-63. Seattle 93, Minnesota 79. This is SRN Sports.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Ben Hubbard with this report. The Clinton High School football team graduated quite a few seniors last season, so now they will lean on returning players, highlighted by their 4-year starters Keaton Graves and Josh Bass, to lead their young group. Head coach Ron Bass told regional radio that while their numbers are down this year, his team has shown up during the summer. He looks forward to seeing what they're capable of during the season.
Our kids that we had come in, they showed up, worked hard. You know, our numbers are down this year, so we have small numbers, but the ones that have been coming have been working hard. So we're looking forward to seeing what this younger team can do this year. Well, we've kind of revamped our offense a little bit. Not that we're doing anything drastically different. We're just going to be running more flex zone offense, you know, as opposed to mostly spread that we had been in the past. But it's the same, many of the same plays that we've been running, but just out of a different formation. And then defensively, we've kind of switched. I've got Kyle Patterson as our defensive coordinator, and he's instilled a new defense. So we've been kind of installing that new defense over the summer. You know, the big one's the quarterback, Keaton Graves. He'll be playing quarterback and safety for us. He's returning. You know, he's technically been a 4-year starter, as has been Josh Bass. And they both have had starting time as freshmen and all 4 years here. So those two for sure are returning starters. And then unfortunately we lost John Smock to an injury, so he will not be able to play for us this year, but he would have been our other returner. And we had some other kids that did see some time. Michael Wheeler was a returning offensive line, Blake Gundy, defensive lineman. So those are our returning starters. But we also have some other experienced seniors with Zach Koch. He saw quite a bit of time last year, so he'll be out there as well as one of our key returners.
When it comes to philosophy, Coach Bass has been telling his kids to trust the process. While they may be faced with hardship this season, he is focused on being better at the end of the season than they are at the start.
Well, I think the biggest thing is trust the process. Don't get caught up in looking at results right now. We look to improve each play, each game, and overall improvement. We want to be better in October than we were in August. Well, you're gonna see a lot more running the football. We graduated some really good receivers last year, and so not having that receiving core is going to kind of change. I felt like we threw the ball quite a bit last year. I don't think you're going to see that quite as much. Not to say that we can't have a dangerous passing game, but you just won't see it as often. So we'll be doing a lot more running to set up the pass. And you're going to see the ball in our playmakers' hands as much as possible. Keaton and Josh, newcomer Jackson Reynolds, and Zach Thomas, those guys, they're going to have to have the ball in their hands. And then we have our receiving core is more tight end related now. So we got Luke Baker and Spencer Collins, Jaden Bell, who are playing that kind of tight end position. This group, we were fortunate enough. I feel like they've bonded really well. We were fortunate enough to go to Little Galilee camp this at the beginning of our season and during our doubles, and we were able to do a retreat and do some team building activities. And I feel like that's really helped the boys kind of see each other in more of a human light.
The Maroons are slated to start the season at home versus Central A&M, and Coach Bass explains that he looks forward to getting to show off their new facilities to begin the year. He feels like this will be a good matchup for his boys.
It's going to be great to be able to open at home and have our facility, for the most part, pretty much completed. Of course, we've switched our stands to the opposite side, so our fans and our sideline doesn't have to stare into the sun for the first quarter, but so we're excited about that. But no, A&M is going to be a solid program. They are always a solid program. Coach Weekly does a good job of having those kids ready to go. I know they're kind of in a similar situation as us, but they're going to be really young. They don't have as many seniors, but the ones that they have that are returners are really good ball players. They got some really skilled athletes that should challenge us on the perimeter. So it's going to be a tough test for us. We're looking forward to having the community out and checking out our new facility and cheering us on this year. I think the future looks bright. If you look to see how many freshmen we have, I would just say, hey, be patient. We could very well do some positive things this year, but we're going to be extremely young, and that's going to be kind of up to those seniors this year to help bring those younger players along.
Clinton takes on Central A&M tonight in Clinton with kickoff scheduled for 7 p.m. Hear the action on WHOW and all its digital platforms. Tune in for pregame coverage beginning at 6:30 p.m. Get sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Get WHOW programming live or on demand right there on your desktop, tablet, iPhone, or smartphone when you want it 24 hours a day. Just go to DeWittDailyNews.com. If you want to listen to live WHOW programming, just click the Listen Live icon. And if you want to hear one of your favorite WHOW programs when you want to, just click on the Audio on Demand icon. WHOW programming is there when you want it. Just another service from the big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW.
When it comes to Centuro nitrogen stabilizer, there is a lot of noise. So let's set the record straight. Centuro is an EPA-registered nitrification inhibitor. It's non-corrosive, easy to handle, and powered by pronitridine, a patented active ingredient offering agronomically effective below-ground protection. And it's trusted by growers and retailers alike because it truly makes a difference. Get all the facts and see how Centuro is delivering real results at CenturoWorks.com.
Are you looking for a new doctor? Someone who makes you feel heard? At Memorial Care, our primary care physicians and advanced practice providers do more than checkups. They also check in, listening to your needs, discussing your health trends, and advocating for you, especially when you notice a change. They're people you can trust from a trusted healthcare leader. Memorial Care. Real care. Real connections. Learn more at memorial.health/primary care.
This is the voice of the Eastern Illinois University Panthers, Mike Brad, inviting all of our fans from Peoria to the Indiana state line to listen for Panther football again this fall on WHOW's many platforms on AM, FM, and streamed online. EIU Panther football is part of WHOW's great weekend sports programming schedule, including a Best of Clinton Maroon sports broadcast and CBS Sports Radio. We'll bring you every Panther game start to finish right here on Central Illinois' news, agriculture, and sports station, WHOW.
Are you tired of worrying about home maintenance and stairs? At Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth, you don't have to. Enjoy independent living with no stairs, private duplexes with attached garage that are accessible and worry-free maintenance, so you can finally do what you want to do. Simplify your life on a safe private campus for adults 55 and better. And here's the best part. It's half the cost of traditional independent living options. Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth. Independent living done right. Find out more by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Tune in to all of WHOW's platforms on AM, FM, and streamed at IllinoisFarmRadio.com for live coverage of the DeWitt 4-H Fair featuring 4-H'ers from DeWitt, Piatt, and Macon counties, the Farmer City Fair, and reports from the Illinois State Fair this summer. Our coverage is brought to you by our title sponsor, Apex Clean Energy, growing a better future for local farmers and landowners in our local communities, along with Longview Community Bank, Warner Hospital and Health Services, and Gibson Ace Hardware, all in Clinton, and Macon County Farm Bureau, where membership means value. The State Bank of Bemen in Bemen and Monticello, and Maroa Ag in Maroa, your growing partner every step of the way. Read all the results from judging at the DeWitt 4-H and Farmer City Junior Fairs by clicking the fair results icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
CEO Paul Skowron here from Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. Call our family medicine clinic now to get your children's school physicals scheduled. We're accepting new patients of all ages. More info by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. All they have to do is ask. President Trump says his administration more than willing to help any mayor or governor looking to crack down on crime. Investigators say 116 rounds were fired by the gunman who killed two youngsters during Wednesday's mass shooting in Minneapolis. It happened as the children were attending mass in a chapel at Annunciation Catholic School. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is defending the firing of the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Kennedy describes the CDC as an agency that is very troubled. He says it has been for a very long time. New Orleans is marking the 20th anniversary of a catastrophe. Devastating and deadly Hurricane Katrina made landfall on this day back in 2005. More details at srnnews.com.
This Hometown Illinois Radio Network report from the Farm Progress Show in Decatur, Illinois, is being brought to you by the Illinois Corn Marketing Board. I'm Randall J. Miller. Myself and Seth Lawrence have team coverage next.
Here's Dirk Rice, a member of the Illinois Corn Growers Association.
Planning to seed cover crops this fall? Worried about the cost in a tough financial time? Members of the Illinois Corn Growers Association save an average of $200 or more with a cover crop coupon from their association. Look for your coupon in the mail if you're already a member, or join today for access to your coupon before buying your cover crop seed. Illinois Corn has your seat at the table, representing you when farmer profitability or conservation efforts are discussed. Learn more at ilcorn.org.
Well, another Farm Progress Show is in the books. In the 2025 edition, close-up shop at 4 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. And our Seth Lawrence had a chance to visit on Thursday with Randy Marks with Sukup manufacture it.
The weather has been absolutely beautiful. I don't think we've worked a Farm Progress show with this nice of weather in a long, long time. So we've had some pretty decent crowds. I think yesterday was pretty good at the show here. The first opening day, maybe a little slower than what we've seen in the past, but we'll see what this last day brings here. But if you're out and need something to do, and come check us out. We've got a lot of new things here in our booth. We've got our mixed flow dryer with a bucket elevator that attaches to it, so it kind of saves guys some money on a tower or another system to do that. We've got our new dual flow distributor here. That's brand new this year, so come check that out. And then we've got some updates to our paddle sweep and things that we've been showing for a while. And again, all the safety features that come along with our grain bins and then other products here.
What kind of safety features are you talking with guys about?
Well, a lot of the things are, the grain doors, the not passing pulley, that paddle sweep to keep people out of the grain bin. So those are the kind of the key things that we discuss with people. And with Sukup being, the family-owned company that they are, safety is obviously very important to us.
Sure, very good. Well, as guys come in, what are they most interested in? What's conversation been like this week?